Attention listener. If you can hear this, then you've tuned in to our top secret radio frequency. But not to be alarmed. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. We're talking about Marvel and DC, but they don't have it all. At Star Wars, that's easy, but you know who to call. I'm talking about ZaneMan and Jonni Boy. The powers overflow. With a master plan they will deploy on the Hero Chat Show.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Hero Chat Show, where we will share every 2 weeks a new movie that we've seen, a new movie that's coming soon, a new TV show that we're watching, and also a new TV show that's also coming soon, and a new video game we're playing, and a new video game that's coming up. Mostly DC, Marvel, and Star Wars. I'm Jonni Boy.
I'm ZaneMan.
That's ZaneMan. And do we want to get right into it? Do we want to talk about the show at all? Do we want to talk about how we got here, or do we just want to get right into the movie that we saw earlier this month?
Yeah, we can talk about how this show started and things like that.
I've been doing a podcast called Under the Influence with DJ Johnny Bravo, 9 questions to guest about music. And when I first got the equipment, didn't know anything about the equipment. My son Zane got on there and was playing around with it and did a fake podcast. I told his mom, and she suggested that we do a podcast together, that would kind of be cool. And you know, what do we have in common?
I was forced into it.
We were force sensitive into it.
Wow.
I know. Just wanted to make that Star Wars pun, if we throw that in there. So anyway, we know about superheroes. You're always quizzing your mom. She always mixes up DC and Marvel.
That is true.
And it's a sight to behold.
We're not professionals.
We're not professionals, but we figured we'll get into the mix and talk about, anything Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and maybe something else we went to our first Comic-Con, so we could talk about that maybe on one of our shows. We might go to other Comic-Cons that were coming up. That was kind of fun that we did, so that might be our second episode. We had to get all kinds of jingles done and get all the stuff for the media.
To get procrastination out of the way.
Yeah, to get procrastination out of the way.
Should have done this 2 weeks ago.
We should have done this a while ago, because now we're a couple episodes, 3 episodes into our show, and we were going to talk about 2, but that's all right. We'll do 3 and 3 and we'll be good. We'll come to you every 2 weeks. We don't want to push too much than that, because my son's got homework and stuff he's got to do.
Sure.
And I'm sure he loves, doing that. So we want to get into the movie?
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's do this.
It's the Hero Chat Show at the movies.
We saw the movie, and It was a thriller, wasn't it?
Yep, that was all. We saw it, and that was it.
I was surprised we were able to even get into the theater. I mean, it was so jam-packed, full of people. Those other 2 people that were there were taking up a lot of room in that double-sized theater that you walk to as soon as you get, your movie ticket, right behind the movie ticket desk. That's where it was, in one of the big theaters.
Yeah, you're really hyping it up without even telling them what the movie was.
2 people, and then it was us at the movies. Hero Chat Show.
What was the movie is what they want to know.
The movie was Morbius.
Yeah, it's about vampires.
So, 30 Seconds to Mars member, good old Joker himself, Jared Leto, as Michael Morbius. Did you know he was in 30 Seconds to Mars?
I don't even know what that is.
His playlists on Spotify are actually better than this movie.
Oh.
30 Seconds to Mars is a band. Him and his brother are in, the Letos.
Okay.
You had Matt Smith, or Doctor Who number 11. You know anything about Doctor Who?
I've watched, I think, 1 episode.
I don't watch any Doctor Who, but he played, do you remember?
I've watched 1 episode.
No, not Doctor Who. Who did he play in the movie? Do you remember?
Oh, wait, who are we talking about?
Matt Smith, Doctor Who number 11.
Dude, his best friend, I would guess.
Yeah, what was his name?
Oh, best friend number 1.
For this type of movie, it probably would have been, but he named him Milo because he wasn't that important. It wasn't like he was going to be remembered, and all the kids that went to the little hospital there, he called Milo.
That was the 5th Milo.
But his real name was Loquacious Crown, I guess, and I guess he's Hunger in the comic. And the soon-to-be seen on Star Wars Andor, Andria Arjona. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
You should have practiced these names before.
Probably should have. I'm butchering those names, but that's all right. I'm sure I'm not the only one. She played Maritime Bancroft. And this movie was directed by Daniel Esposito. So I gave you some homework. Do you remember the homework I gave you?
The homework I still haven't done.
Yeah.
You wanted me to watch a movie?
I wanted you to watch a movie from 1987.
Yeah, that's probably why I still haven't done it.
And the name of the movie was The Lost Boys.
I didn't remember that.
The reason why I wanted you to watch it was because when we saw the video, they were introducing Morbius. One of the trailers they used, "People Are Strange." You remember that, by the Doors?
I love that song.
Yeah, so in The Lost Boys, they also use that same song, "People Are Strange." And in The Lost Boys, it's about vampires. Hopefully I'm not ruining this movie for anybody. It's a 1987 movie. I'm sure people have seen it. And it's got, character in it. His name is Michael. And the reason why I wanted you to watch it is because towards the end of the movie, when Hunger or Milo or whoever his name is kept saying, "Michael, Michael, Michael," it reminded me of that movie because they would say his name over and over again. And the way they said it was the same way they were saying it in Morbius. So that's the reason why I'd given you the homework.
That's interesting.
Which, you didn't pay any attention to at all.
No, I just chose not to do it.
Which was fine. You see how much we've talked about the movie. We've talked about other things beside the movie.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah, so basically, it starts out, he's got a disease. He's trying to figure out this blood disease. His friend, Milo has the same disease. And so he's been traveling the world and he actually becomes like a scientist or whatever and learns how to fix this disease with bats, vampire bats.
He invents fake blood.
He goes on a boat outside of the United States and the international waters, does his experiment.
Yeah, because he has to do it over international waters.
And the name of the boat was named after the guy that did the first, vampire movie.
Oh,
yeah.
I did not know that.
Little piece of trivia for you there.
Oh.
And so then he turns into Creature. He turns into Morbius, killing all these guys, but there's really no blood. I don't know if you noticed that in the movie. I happened to be watching one of the videos on YouTube. I think it was MT from New Rockstars said that there was no blood. He cut that one guy and the guy's gushing, but there's nothing gushing out.
Yeah.
I guess to keep it, PG or PG-13, whatever the movie was.
He was so fast. He had already sucked them all and then started killing them.
Yeah. So then he comes back to New York. I don't even know what happens. I guess his friend finds out that he's better, but he's like itching and jonesing for blood. So he uses his fake blood. I was reading an article that somebody had basically compared it to the Matrix because in the Matrix, remember it was a blue pill or a red pill.
Mm-hmm.
He was taking the blue blood, not the red blood.
Yeah.
The other thing that is, I guess, important here is that he's a living vampire. He
never died.
Never died. He's not a dead vampire.
And if you talk to the other vampires, they'll be like, well, he's not cool. He didn't die.
He's not living. He's like outside the norm. So maybe this is why, the movie, it made $39 million in the first week. And I think it made up to 78 the second week or 89.
You're just a little ball full of knowledge, aren't you?
I looked some stuff up, wanted to have some kind of stuff to talk to because I knew we wouldn't have much to talk, about the movie.
I got a couple of things written down. In comic books, they actually had a comic book law against writing about werewolves and vampires and creatures of that sort. And then once that was lifted, they had Morbius because they could use vampires at that point, but before that it was outlawed, kind of. It was stated that you shouldn't write about vampires or werewolves, supernatural creatures like that.
Yeah, the comic book code authority, I think.
Sure.
There's a little thing on each comic book. I don't know if there's any badged people that went around and actually enforced it. It could have been. I never saw. But the comic book code authority, so you're right on that. So that's some good knowledge there. But he was a living vampire. The other ones are, not living vampires.
Yeah, because everyone else died.
Hunger, who is his friend Milo,
His bestie.
who's Doctor Who number 11. There's a lot of 11s in the movie. So if you want to pay attention to something, look for the 11s. I know there's a few of them.
Yeah, you think the movie's going to bore him to death, so you're telling him to look for 11s.
Looking for other stuff, yeah. To keep the time, make the time go by.
If they die, then they'll actually be better than Morbius, because Morbius didn't die.
Exactly. So he's going around. He got jealous, so then he somehow gets not the antidote, but he gets the thing and he becomes Hunger.
Yeah.
And then they're taking it to the streets and they have a little confrontation and then he knows about the girlfriend but they're not really girlfriend, boyfriend, but you tell they kind of have feelings for one another. And then she ends up becoming a vampire based off of, he saves her. So he gives her blood. So she's actually a dead vampire.
She died. Yeah. She's cooler.
She's a dead vampire. So it was kind of funny. And, they were trying to use the water and different things where, like I said, he's a living vampire. Some of that stuff's not going to work on him. The garlic I didn't see any of that kind of stuff. Where they talked about stakes to the heart and different things like that, how to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's flying around. He's got superpowers. It was more like Banshee from the old X-Men First Class, how he kind of flew. Do you remember that movie when Banshee had the scream and he kind of did the scream and the like waves kind of had him fly?
Not really, no.
Well, that's how Morbius was flying in the thing. It looked like anyway.
You didn't tell me to do that for homework, so I didn't do that.
Oh, well, I didn't want to make you watch another movie because you didn't even watch the first movie. So
that's fair enough.
He had the little things on his ears, that came up, the hearing, and he could hear like a bat.
Called echolocation.
And there was some, I don't know if you remember, I think I pointed them out to you. There was a couple references to playing chess in the very beginning. He was playing chess before Milo got there.
Yeah.
Almost like he wanted somebody to play with. And then later on, when his girlfriend is dying, at the very top of that building, it looked like a chessboard.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, it was like in neon colors.
Interesting.
The biggest thing that everybody's talking about for this movie is the ending.
Remind me.
So there was a couple of, you stay to the end credits. We stayed all the way to the end. There was nothing at the very end, so you don't need to stay all the way to the end.
Okay.
You can leave just after there's two little zingers, and then you can leave. You don't have to stay all the way to the end.
Just get up, get out.
Get up and get out. It was Vulture. Toombs showed up in a jail cell. And then they let him free, and then all of a sudden he's Vulture.
All of a sudden.
He didn't have the suit. He didn't pop over with his suit. He popped over in the prison garb. So he didn't have his suit. But I was looking at Amazing Spider-Man. Do you remember the end scene from Amazing Spider-Man?
Dude, you're telling me to watch so many different...
I know. See, we're supposed to do stuff for this. You have some stuff for the peeps. So
you think with how much we procrastinated this, I would have watched at least one of the movies.
You would have done something. We had a couple of weeks. We watched this movie when it came out on May 4th, and we're not May 4th, April 4th.
Yep.
So it's been a few weeks. But Amazing Spider-Man, at the very end, they had a zinger. Mr. Fires was talking to an empty locker, and that's the locker that Green Goblin took the suit earlier.
Yeah.
And then he goes further down. There's another locker for Dr. Octopus, Doc Ock. I'm just messing with you.
Why would you say the full name?
I know. I'm just messing with you. I know you like it when I say that.
It's like an angry mother.
The Vulture and Rhino. But they already used that at the very end of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you think about it, they had other members. So from AS1, they had the Lizard. They had AS2 Electro. So if you got, Doc Ock, Vulture, Rhino, Lizard, Electro, that gives you 5. And then if Morbius is going to be the 6th one, that's the Sinister 6. And since 2013, that's what Sony's been trying to work towards.
Yeah.
They canceled it. Drew Goddard was supposed to write it and direct it, and they canceled it in 2015. Others that have talked about besides that are Black Cat, Kraven the Hunter, Venom, and Madam Web. Now, Kraven the Hunter, they're filming currently, and you know who's in that.
Yes, I do know who's in that, but I want you to say the names first so I can get them right.
Aaron Taylor Johnson. Who did he play?
He plays main character number 3.
He was in the Avengers, Age of Ultron.
Yeah, but
he played the brother.
Pietro Maximoff.
Pietro Maximoff, that's right.
I was right. I got it right.
There's a couple of unspecified films that are going to be released on June 23rd and October 3rd of 2023. And then they also have Sony has also, besides Kraven the Hunter, they've also named Madam Web with Dakota Johnson.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. That's a new character, and I'm not familiar with them. Sinister 6. It's something that Marvel's been trying to do, something they've been working on since 2013. What do you think? Do you think they have a shot of doing it? Do you think another Spider-Man's coming over? Some people are thinking with all the stuff that came through that movie that it might be Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man from Amazing Spider-Man. What do you think?
Well, thinking about the Sinister Six in comics, they're very heavily used in the comics just as a bad guy team, mostly for Spider-Man. But, it'd be interesting to see coming to a live action standpoint, because you would see more of Peter thinking through his problems rather than just fighting his way through everything.
I think it would be good to give him another bout through the Spider Universe. You could really see that he was going for it in the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
When all Spider-Mans gave together, he was given a Oscar-worthy performance in that movie. So, they really should give him a shot. But Sony, come on, this movie, Venom 2, they were all right. But you come into this movie and it's just come on, Sony, just sign it over to Marvel already.
I feel like Marvel would be a lot better holder of these characters. Sony's trying their best. I'm not sure if they can do much better.
Because there was talk about them bringing in Kraven the Hunter for, the No Way Home movie.
Yeah.
And they probably couldn't do it because Sony was working on Kraven the Hunter with Pietro Maximoff.
Yeah.
And so they couldn't do that. The reins are kind of tightened. But Sony just needs to give it over to Marvel because it's just like, come on already. Like, we want to see those movies through the eyes of Marvel. It would be great.
Yeah.
One last thing, though. When we had 4 people in the theater,
Yeah.
one of those people were asleep. Remember?
Yeah. And the other one tried to put a bucket on their head.
Bucket of popcorn on their head.
Yeah.
That was the tomfoolery that was going on in the movie theater where we saw Morbius.
It's a bit hard to pay attention when that's happening.
So I don't know if we should go see it. Are we giving stars? Are we doing any thumbs up? I don't know what we're doing. Are we telling people not to go? Are we telling people check it out, wait for the video? What are we doing?
I don't know. You want to do a little quirky rating points? You want to make it like, do we rate it a hero or a villain? We could be stupid.
I don't know. I mean, it's up to you. It's your show, so we could do whatever.
Yeah, sure. It's my show. Yeah, let's do a rating out of 8 because I feel like 8.
8 out of...
No, what do you feel like out of 8?
Oh, out of 8.
Number out of 8.
Say like 2.5 or 3.
Oh, you're going a little bit harsh.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the horror, Marvel anyway.
So just real quick, can you give us a baseline with?
Well, my favorite Marvel movie is Captain America: Winter Soldier.
I do know this, yes.
So that would be an 8.
So
4.5 would probably be.
That'll be your average. What's your 4? You got your 8, and you said Morbius is a 2.2 points.
2.5 or 3. Yeah.
All right. So 4 being the average, I would say it's probably like a 3. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. I've definitely seen way worse movies, especially from Sony. But I probably wouldn't recommend it. Maybe wait until it comes out on something else that you already have.
Yeah, I mean, we used to say wait till video, but wait till streaming, wait till, it comes out on HBO or something like that. Yeah. Check it out. It's worth a watch, just to check it off your list.
Yeah.
But, we think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah. You got something coming up? You got a movie coming up?
Well, we are going to check out the next Marvel movie coming up, which is going to be May the 6th.
What's the movie? Say the name.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That is correct. How'd you know?
Or sometimes people call it, they say multiverse different.
The initials for that would be mom.
Exactly. So Doctor Strange going to see his mom.
Yeah.
We're going to check out that movie on our next podcast and give the lowdown on that movie.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm excited. It's going to bring some new stuff. I think in the trailer they showed a evil version of Doctor Strange.
So you got, I think, a couple different versions of Doctor Strange, a couple different versions of the Scarlet Witch. I'm surprised that people don't, lose their minds and wonder what's going on and how they can do all these different characters and still have people understand the story. I mean, that's just where Marvel has it down because they focus on the story.
Yes.
So they're going to do right by the characters. But not only do you have that, you have America Chavez in that movie. She's going to be there. His love interest from the multiverse. Somewhere she's going to be, regular in there and then in there like from another time frame.
Exactly.
As well from what we've seen. And supposedly a lot of surprises. I mean, people have been talking about Tom Cruise playing Superior Iron Man, but some people are saying that that's not Superior Iron Man. Some people are saying that that's, can't think of her name, the one from the 90s.
The one from the 90s.
The one that was the Avenger. She's got all the cosmic powers. Yeah. Captain Marvel.
There you go.
Some people think that it's a Captain Marvel. It's going after, which looks to be Scarlet Witch, one of the Scarlet Witches. You're going to have the Illuminati.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Illuminati in there. And the Illuminati, they said, might be from a lot of different universes. So people are saying that the old Mr. Fantastic from Fantastic Four is going to be there. They know one of them is at least the bad guy from Doctor Strange 2. I can't think of what his name was. What was the guy's name? Well, he wasn't the bad guy. He turned into the bad guy. His buddy.
Doctor Strange 2?
No, that's not it. You know who I'm talking about? Is his buddy that was coming after him because he was using the black magic. You don't remember. Anyway, he's supposed to be on the council. You're supposed to have a Captain Marvel or a Superior Iron Man. Mm-hmm. In the trailer, you heard Professor X.
Yeah.
So that's another one. There's a few on there. There's supposed to be 7. So there's 6 seats, because Professor X is in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
He's rolling around. And supposedly Scarlet Witch comes in there and takes them all down, kills them all.
Oh, that's interesting.
And the reason why they think the Superior Iron Man is because they have the bots in there. So you see like the kind of Ultron bots.
Yeah, that could be a couple different things though.
Should be pretty exciting. So you got a bunch of stuff going on and a lot of cameos from what they're saying. So we don't know where they're going to go with it.
Yeah.
Which that should be fun. So do we have tickets yet? Do we have you bought? We asked a friend to buy tickets, but we're not sure if they bought tickets for us or not yet.
I don't know.
That was other homework I asked you to check on to see if they'd gotten tickets for us.
You ask me this like every day.
I know. I'm trying to figure out if we got tickets to go see, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Text them yourself.
I'm going to see Doctor Strange is going to go see his mom. I want to go see his mom.
Yeah. Text Doctor Strange's mom. See if we want to do that.
I'm going to have to do that.
When's it come out? May 4th, 5th?
May the 6th. Well, we're going to move on to the TV show that we watched.
Stay tuned.
You are watching TV on the Hero Chat Show.
So we watched Moon Knight.
How do you know that?
Because we were there. I was there.
You're usually asleep.
We've watched 3 episodes of the Moon Knight. Now we're going to try to discuss the 3 episodes, but we're going to try to do it separately.
So we're going to separate every episode?
We're going to try to. I don't know if we can do it, but we'll see.
Okay.
Do you know that he's playing Spider-Man 2099 from Across the Universe Part 1? He does the voice for that.
I did not know that.
Did you know he was also Poe Dameron in Star Wars episodes 7 through 9?
I knew that one.
Did you know that he was Apocalypse? He's already visited Egypt and Cairo in X-Men Apocalypse.
I didn't know that he played Apocalypse?
He played Apocalypse.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oscar Isaac. He plays a bunch of different roles. Who are the people that he plays? Do you remember?
The ones you just said?
No, but I mean on the show.
Oh, in the show?
In the show.
Okay, so he is a character that has, it's called dissociative identity disorder. It's a disorder, that's the one. And if you don't know, that is when you have multiple alters living in your head. It used to be called multiple personalities, but that's not correct. So he has one alter in his head. It's not really known which one is the main person, but there is one character named Mark Spector and the other one named Stephen Grant, and they are what is that word for Khonshu?
Khonshu. That's the guy's name. Is that you talking about?
No, I just said that. I was talking about what they embody him, like they're the what are they named? Like what is
Moon Knight.
Well, it's hard to explain to you. They're like the person for Khonshu. They're like
the Avatar.
That's the one. Thank you.
Hey, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, the Avatar for Khonshu. They fight crime. They fight people in white suit. And if you don't know, Khonshu is the ancient Egyptian god.
That's right.
For the moon, and they go by the name Moon Knight.
Yep. And so you also had Troy Dyer from Reality Bites. He also played Hamlet, and he's Batman, or he does the voice for Batman in the upcoming series Bat Wheels. Ethan Hawke.
Batwheel.
Bat Wheels. He's Arthur Harrow, Sinister guy. Plus May Calamaway as Layla. Ella Phoney. I don't know how you say that last name. I'm wrecking the names today. Plus Khonshu, who's voiced by F. Murray Abraham. So the first episode was called The Goldfish Problem.
Yeah, I know why, if that's what you're about to test me on.
Why?
So his good old mummy, his Doctor Strange mom,
Later Gators,
gives like, she's the one that gives him the fish, right? Gives him a fish named something. Do you know what it's named?
Do I know what it's named?
The fish. What's it named, Dad?
The fish is named Gus.
Of course you'd know that, weirdo. The fish named Gus. He has one bad fin like Nemo, and he has one normal one. So Steven, being the person at the forefront of the body at the moment, walks around, does his daily work at the gift shop at the museum where they teach about Egyptian history. And he comes home, and the next day he sees his fish has 2 fins, and then he goes to the pet store and he's like, "Yo, what can fish grow things back?" And they're like, "What? No, weirdo, I told you yesterday." And he's like, "What? I didn't come in here yesterday."
Yeah, he's having some issues trying to figure out who he is. The goldfish problem introduces us to Steven. It also introduces us to Harrow.
Introduces us.
And to Gus, Moon Knight, and Khonshu. What it had written on Disney Plus was Stephen Grant learns that he may be a superhero, but may also share a body with a ruthless mercenary.
He may.
That's what the little synopsis said.
Oh, right. He thinks that part's comes to the forefront of the body with, unrecognizable place with a little scarab in his hand, and he's running away from bad guys who are trying to shoot him. He gets in a car, he blacks out again, he sees a gun in his hand. He's like, "Whoa, what's happening? This is crazy." And then he wakes up at home and he's like, "Whoa, that was a wild dream." Goes on from there thinking it was a dream until he realizes it may not have been a dream.
He was definitely going through some stuff.
Yeah.
The show also introduces his boss, Donna. Everybody calls Steven something different. I wrote down what they called Steve or Steven, and it's with a V. Doctor Strange is Steven with a PH.
Yeah, he says that.
He has a little rap where he's like, I'm Steven with a V.
What is
Fly like a butterfly, sting like a V. I'm Steven with a V or something. Isn't that what he says?
That's what he says.
So Donna, his boss, calls him Stevie. JB, the security guy, calls him Scotty.
Yeah.
Khonshu, or the voice in his head, what we think the voice in his head from the first episode, calls him Worm, Idiot, and Parasite.
Yep, sounds like my sister.
Harrow calls him Stephen of the gift shop. Stephen Grant of the gift shop. That's what he calls him.
It's fitting.
Yeah. Basically, we see Harrow at the start of the episode, bad guy, which normally doesn't start with the bad guy. Normally you start with the good guy. Well, we see Harrow, he's breaking glass, he drinks a drink, he's breaking glass, he's walking on broken glass. Yeah. Which there was a song for that. They could have played that song at the beginning.
Well, they chose not to, so.
They played Bob Dylan at the very beginning.
You say that it usually doesn't start with the villain, but it does that in Infinity War. It starts with Thanos.
Well, that is true. Then it goes into your graphics there, and then we see Stephen Grant.
Yep.
And he wakes up chained to the bed.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and you see him do his daily ritual of checking the sand to make sure nothing was broken. Unchains himself from, he's not really chained to the bed, he's chained to the post by the bed.
Yeah.
Checks the tape on the door.
Yes.
And checks his fish. And calls his mom. Yep. Heads to the museum.
The gift shop.
Where he works. He works at a gift shop.
The museum, yeah.
At the museum. Then things go on at the museum. Pretty regular day. I mean, his boss will give him a hard time. Girl does say that she asked him out to steak.
And he's all confused. He's like, what? I didn't know I had a date. That's wild.
And because he's also a vegan.
He is a vegan.
So he doesn't eat meat.
So he's wondering, why am I going to a steakhouse?
Yeah. So Donna's like, why? What? He's like, they have salads there. And he's got a, weird voice. People are, were concerned about his voice. But I mean, I think it works.
I think it works with the character of Steven.
Yeah. So the first time we saw Harrow, he's breaking glass. Second time we see him, it's in the village. And some people are saying that this village is Lativa.
I don't know what that is.
Lativa in the comic books is the home to Doctor Doom.
Oh, right.
So they're thinking it's Doctor Doom. And also, when he goes to steal the van, it says Von D on it, which Von Doom is his last name.
Yeah.
If you look at the boxes kind of behind him when he's driving. But that's the second time you see Harrow. He's judging a couple of followers. One passes the test. He's got these crocodile, like kind of, what do you call it? Weight scales on his arm. And when he does the first guy, it turns green.
Yeah.
It goes from the tattoo and it's moving. And it turns green. That guy's good.
So a woman comes up and she's like all frail and old. And she was like, oh, I've been good my whole life. Please judge me, my man.
Let me judge you.
And she doesn't say, let me judge you.
Oh, that's what I saw. Yeah. Tupac used to always say, only God can judge me. But,
exactly.
So what happened to her?
She gets judged and he's like, horrible. And she's like, oh, but I've lived my life doing so much good.
And then she just kind of fades away and people carry her away. And then they find, because
Steven was watching.
Yeah, he woke up. Steven woke up, didn't know where he was. Guys were firing at him. He went into the village. Then all of a sudden, that's when they find him. Everybody like kind of bows down because he says some stuff in Egyptian. Arrow does. And that's when the chase is on, and he has the scarab in his hand.
Well, you skipped over a tiny bit where Harrow asks him to hand it over and Steven is trying to comply. His body seems to react as if it doesn't want to give it away, which is strange to him because he's trying to force his body to give it to him.
Whole time, Khonshu is calling him, or the voice in his head, because he doesn't know it's Khonshu at this time. It's calling him worm, idiot, parasite. Give it, give the body over to him, you worm, and that kind of thing. Then the chase is on, and he gets away from him. He wakes up. He's missed a bunch of days.
Yeah, he tries to make his date after he wakes up that day, notices his fishes, something's up with his fish. He goes to the place like, oh no, I got a date. And then he goes off to the date. He waits a little bit. She doesn't show up and he's like, what's happening? So he calls her and she's like, yeah, that's funny because that was like 3 days ago.
Yeah. So he's missed at least 2 or 3 days. The fish was missing a fin. Now the fish has a fin.
Yep.
So he's all confused. Goes to get his steak dinner. He doesn't even eat steak. And then he's so distraught that the young lady didn't show up. I guess 2 or 3 days late. I think it was actually Sunday and they were supposed to meet on Friday or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So he orders a steak and he doesn't even eat meat
because he's a vegan.
He's a vegan.
So he goes to sleep and wakes up the next day. He does his daily rituals of like taking the ankle thing off that's tying him to the bed. He checks the sand, refills it, gets the tape all nice, and then he leaves for work, and he sees Arrow, who he thought was a dream. And so he gets worried, and he's like, oh no, he's gonna try to kill me. So he goes to the gift shop, and he tells the old security guard, and the security guard calls him, what does he call him?
Scotty. He's always calling him wrong name, but only Scotty.
He tries to walk away, and then hijinks ensue.
Yeah, so this is the third time that we see Harrow. Harrow is basically talking about avatars.
Yeah.
This is when he says, Steven says, blue people, like on the movie, and then he says, anime?
Yeah, he references the anime with the different elemental nations, and he also references the blue alien creatures from the movie Avatar, with like that one paralyzed guy who would go into the body of an avatar.
So he tries to judge Steven, and he says there's too much chaos.
Yes.
So he couldn't judge him. So the scales were just going crazy. It didn't turn red, didn't turn green. He basically unleashes the hounds of hell. Well, not really, just one hound.
He releases, there was a word. Do you remember what they were called?
Jackal.
Jackal, because those are
Egyptians. Yeah, Egyptian jackal. So a jackal was after him, and then he goes into the bathroom, and he's having a conversation with the mirror.
He walks in the room, and he's all worried because he hears this thing like bursting at the door, and then he hears a voice in his head. He's looking all around, and then he looks to his left, and at first, since there was mirrors on both sides, you could see a bunch of different versions going all the way down, but he looks to his left and sees just one, and there's no more going past that because there's no more reflections other than just this one. And he has a conversation with it, and he was talking about, hey, you need to let me take control, and Steven's like, I don't know what that means, and then he takes Man in the Mirror, which song reference.
Yeah, he says that in the second episode, Man in the Mirror.
Yeah,
that's a good reference from Michael Jackson.
The Man in the Mirror takes over, Jackal bursts in, cuts away for a little bit, goes back into the bathroom, and you see the Moon Knight just whipping some butt.
Yeah, just whipping the Jackal's butt,
exactly.
And the bathroom is torn apart. He does say his name is Mark. He does surrender control to Mark, and he becomes the Moon Knight. That's basically where it ends.
That is episode 1.
That's episode 1. Something I read, and I didn't realize it was doing it until a couple episodes rolled through. But if you look at the end credits, the moon changes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the crescent moon is the first one, and they're showing London and other things, but it changes. So we'll talk about that with the next episode.
Before we get into that, I don't know if you know this, the reason that he is called Moon Knight is not just because he's an avatar for Khonshu, but because he has dissociative identity disorder. He's like the phases of the moon.
Oh, that's good. Yeah,
like
exactly.
Changing.
And also something that we didn't mention that I did want to mention before we go into 2 is if you look at the very beginning when he's talking to a young girl, Steven there is a QR code on the wall. Mm-hmm. If you scan that QR code, it'll bring you to a comic book, and it's Werewolf by Night, the first viewing of Moon Knight.
The first, I don't know, but that is also referring back to what we said for Morbius about how the comic code authority said that you can't do that, and then that was for werewolves.
And we totally forgot about one part too.
What's that?
He was a little bonkers after a steak dinner, and he noticed that one of the tables had been moved, and so he moved the table and looked up, and he found that phone and a key. Yeah, that was in the first episode, and he finds that he had missed all these calls from someone named Layla. So that's something that we didn't talk about. So episode 2 is Summon the Suit. So we had the crescent moon. This one we have the waning crescent, so it's basically getting bigger in this one. And it's basically the aftermath of what happened when Moon Knight kicked the crap out of the jackal in the bathroom.
Let's see, he wakes up and goes to work, and there's was it like cops there?
No, the cops hadn't gotten there yet. It was basically he went into work, and he's going and checking with his friend. It calls him Scotty.
Yeah, his security friend.
Yeah, he says, it's bonkers, man. It's bonkers, and what happened comes to find out because the loo, I guess, that's what they call it over there in London, not the bathroom, the loo.
The UK.
The UK, yeah. He says it's like an Area 51 MI6 bonkers, man. Check the security footage, is what he says. So he checks the security footage. Nothing there.
Nothing.
No jackal. He's the only one that can see this jackal. Can't see it on the security footage. JB says, hey, it's still you, bro. Because, he shows him coming out of the bathroom.
And he looks at the camera.
And that's not me.
Yeah, he's looking all more confident.
That's not me. That was Mark. What I liked about that is that, he got fired.
He did.
Company cared for him. The company, talked to him about, getting some help. And they knew that he was having a hard time. So I thought that was kind of nice.
Yeah, it shows that they actually want him to be better.
Yeah, well, they cared a little bit about him. They gave him a pamphlet and everything, a group of doctors that he could go see. Then he thinks about the key.
He does. He found the key in the little hole after he saw the table move.
And the first episode, and the phone.
Yep.
He goes on the hunt for the storage locker.
Yep. And so what does he do? He just finds...
Yeah, he finally finds the right place. He goes to... I counted them. I didn't count them, but they told us in the episode 5 branches. He goes to locker number 43.
Well, first he goes up to the security guy at the...
Oh yeah, ask him if he knows him.
Ask him, and he's like, I'm looking for this specific unit. It should be under the name Mark, no surname, because he doesn't know his surname. He's like, it's just under Mark. And the security guy's like, dude, I know you.
You come in here all the time. I know who you are. So it was locker number 43, and that's the second QR code.
You'll find a QR code on the unit.
Yeah, so it's a another Werewolf by Night. Werewolf by Night. So if you want to keep, read the comics, you can. I put down here the quest for the storage locker, 5th branch, 43. It's a hidden bunker. It's Mark Spector's place.
It's where he keeps all his stuff. So you see old Steven walking in there, and he's like, whoa, this is wild. It confirms all of my wildest dreams.
Yeah, so you have the man in the mirror. He says to Steven, I serve Kongshu. I am his avatar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he tells him that. He's like, I'm going to take this bag. I'm going to turn you into the police. This is ridiculous.
You didn't say anything about a bag yet, man. You're not good at telling stories.
There was a bag.
Okay, so there's a bag in the unit.
There's a bag in the unit, and it's
filled with different currencies.
And a passport with Mark Spector, U.S. passport with Mark Spector's information on it.
Yep.
Then he says he's going to turn him in and runs out of the place, leaves his key, which I noticed he left his key. Like, he's not going to be able to go back there.
Oh, yeah, because he was running out of there.
The lights.
You also didn't explain.
The lights were kind of flickering on and off, and they had done that in the first episode. And that was like the 3rd time we had seen that, because when we saw the movie, they were doing that in Morbius. They had the lights flickering on and off.
Yeah.
Basically runs into Khonshu and gets pushed out of the storage place and almost gets hit by Layla, who's on a scooter.
Because he had called her, which we also...
Well, no, he didn't call her.
He didn't? No. He did.
She tracked him.
Yeah, because he called her.
Oh, well, he did call her. That's right.
Good job.
He called her. Yeah, but she tracked the phone.
You suck at
I know.
telling stories.
This is what happens. That's why you're here to remind me. And plus we have, 3 episodes. So what I really liked is that, he had like this, what do you call it? This rapport with Layla.
He had a good connection because he likes all this stuff about Egypt and he likes the same literature as her. And she kind of just drops a bombshell. Would you like to say what that bombshell was?
That she's the wife.
She's his wife.
But not Stephen Grant's wife, Mark Spector's wife.
Mark Spector.
And she also says she's French. She reads a poem that was her favorite poet. He said, that's my favorite poet. She's like, no, that's my favorite poet. There was a little moment there between them. He knew French. Also, hieroglyphics. They were talking about hieroglyphics, and he was talking about hieroglyphics. So you kind of get that Stephen has a background. I mean, because he doesn't sleep, because he doesn't want to, fall asleep, because he doesn't want the other person to take over. So he's doing puzzles, and that was in the first episode that we didn't talk about. And also reading books. He reads a lot of books.
We're really good at telling stories.
I know. And she told him, I'm not buying this, Mark. She wasn't buying the whole fake accent. She wasn't buying all that kind of stuff.
Mark is American and has an American accent, where Steven has an English accent.
So she wasn't buying it. But he told her that was his flat. Then he said it's his mom's flat. And then she said, you guys are talking again. I didn't know if that was relevant for later on or not, but I wrote that down.
Yeah. Him and his mom are talking again, just to clarify.
When she said that about, I'm not buying this, Mark, he said, I'm not Mark Spector. I'm Stephen Grant. I used to work in a gift shop. So he kind of gave that thing that Harrow's always calling him. And she talked about their adventures, their life together. And so they were doing all that kind of stuff. Then there's a knock at the door.
He's like, hey, yo, you gotta hide. And so he opens the door, kind of cracks it a little bit. What do they say to try to get in?
What I didn't notice at first, and what I noticed in my second watching, is they said this is D.C. Fitzgerald and D.C. Kennedy.
Yeah.
The president's name was Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Yeah. We
should have known something was up. And we did. So there was a knock at the door. He's like, I vandalized the toilet. That's what he told Layla.
Yeah.
They basically thought that they found what they thought was a fake passport. They thought he was a thief.
Because they found the bag.
Yeah. And they thought it was an international fugitive, or they said he was an international fugitive because they looked him up. And I guess he had killed a bunch of people in Egypt.
And then they look around the flat. They don't see anyone else in there. They take him and they go into a car.
Yeah, because Layla hides outside.
Yes.
They don't take him to the police station. They take him to this little area.
Yeah.
And he sees the girl with a tattoo, kind of like Harrow's tattoo. They had left a walkie on, so he's basically talking. Steven's talking to Mark. They're having this whole dialogue, and then Harrow chimes in because he's talking about surrendering control. Mark's trying to get control from Steven.
Yeah.
Basically, he says to him on the walkie, "I hear you loud and clear, Steven from the gift shop." That's what he calls it. You know, he gets excited. He's going to show you. He takes him around to the place, and we noticed this place from the episode 1. It was the same place where they started the first episode with Harrow.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like maybe in Egypt, but it was actually in England.
Was it the same place?
Yeah, it was the same place where all these people were hanging out.
It's confirmed that you know that. How do you know that?
Because it was the same place. Because when you looked it from the other side, it was the same place. Just had more people in it when less people in it when he showed it the first time. Just him and the glass of water. They have some soup.
Yeah.
They're basically chatting it up. Harrow knows like almost everything about Kongshu.
You know what we forgot to mention?
What's that?
The scarab that was.
It
was in the bag.
Yeah. So there was a scarab in the bag.
And then when Layla was at his house, she looked in the bag and saw the scarab, and she was like, "Whoa, we've been looking for this forever, and you didn't even tell me." And he was like, "You can have it. I don't care." And so Layla has the scarab now.
Yeah, so Layla has the scarab. She took the scarab. They're looking for the scarab. They're asking about the scarab. Harrow knows about Kongshu. He's saying words that he would say, like he wants to kill me and stuff like that. He knows about Steven. He knows about Mark. It's like he knows everything. He's finding out about everything. Gives him some soup. He wasn't talking about summoning the suit then, but Kongshu's trying to get Mark to take over.
Yeah.
And Steven doesn't want him to, so he's still talking to Harrow. She shows up with the scarab.
Yeah.
And there's fighting that ensues. Harrow takes his staff, and it's got purple magic, and they say it's the bad magic.
Over the name of the episode.
What's that?
Layla comes down and she's telling him to summon the suit.
Summon the suit, yeah.
And he says, "What? Summon the soup?"
Yeah, summon the soup because he just had soup. Yeah, that was a funny. You're right. That was a funny line of dialogue.
You skipped it, so it's not funny anymore.
Well, and so then he takes that staff and it's purple magic, kind of like a la Agatha Harkness. They use that in
Chaos magic.
Chaos. No, she what you call it uses chaos magic.
Not chaos. Dark magic.
Dark magic. Yeah. Another jackal appears.
Yeah.
She's saying summon the suit. They get locked into a place. The jackal's trying to break down the door.
Yeah.
It does break down the door. She can't see it. He's the only one that can see it.
Yeah, he's all worried. He's like backing up, and she's like, I don't see anything, man.
Yeah, and he gets knocked out the window, hits his head like, a couple times.
Yeah.
But does land in a superhero pose, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
As, not Moon Knight, but as
Mr. Knight.
Mr. Knight, his avatar. They did it a little bit different than they did in the comic book.
He doesn't have anything. It's his suit. It's not his avatar.
Well, so he thought that the suit was a regular suit, so he's in a regular like kind of suit.
Yeah.
And then he's fighting the jackal in the street. People thought that he was drunk because they can't see the jackal.
And that's where he says the famous line: "Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. My name is Steven with a V."
And then he punches the thing, knocks it out. She actually throws some water on it. She can see it. I think she cuts it with a bottle or whatever, but they think he's drunk. Meanwhile, he loses the scarab, doesn't realize because she had given him scarab to protect it with the suit.
He lets Mark take over.
Yeah.
And so they like run all off, and he like kills the jackal.
Oh, yeah. Mark takes over because he couldn't, I guess, finish the jackal off. The jackal wasn't dead. That's right. And Moon Knight takes over from Mr. Knight.
Yeah. Come
to find out, he had dropped the scarab. He kills the jackal, and then he's talking to Mark through another mirror. Reflection. This show is really good with reflections and mirrors and showing, Mark and Steven and they're showing him in threes, sometimes in one, sometimes in two. So it's really neat the way they kind of show all these reflections. And he's basically chatting with Mark.
He's like, "I'm never going to let you take control again."
Yeah, and so he's got Steven locked up.
And then Khonshu pops up and is like, you don't even realize, do you? Like, you lost the scarab back there.
Yeah, I thought you had it under control.
Wait,
and he's like, there's another way.
So what actually happens is Mark looks around and he's like, "Oh, I don't have the scarab." And then it cuts to a guy picking up the scarab. And then Harrow's like, "Dude, I'll give you anything. Let me just have that." And then he judges him and he kills him, and Layla sees that and like rolls away on her motorcycle, and Khonshu's like, "Dude, he already has it."
Yeah, he was gone. Harrow killed another innocent in the street. He judged a bum there in the street, got the scarab because that guy actually picked it up. Then it goes into the third episode.
Well, there are some more important things that we should cover.
Sorry.
Like how the reason, like Khonshu's like, you need to do better than this man or else I'm gonna take over Layla. Oh man, Layla's gonna have the suit now and everything like that, and she's gonna become Moon Knight. And Steven doesn't want that because he wants to protect her. And something that we should have mentioned earlier is that she came to the house for like to finish filing for the divorce.
Oh yeah, Mark was going to divorce her. He was trying to keep her safe, didn't want her to have the scarab. Told Steven not to give her the scarab. We found out that we didn't. What someone else that we didn't mention that Harrow was the avatar for Khonshu. And that's how you knew about a lot of the things and what Khonshu does. And like you said, that Khonshu was saying he was going to use her, Layla, as the avatar because Mark is broken and he basically can't handle it. And he's trying to protect her and say he can handle it.
Which is a bit rude, saying that someone with dissociative identity disorder is broken.
Yeah, and so he basically kind of goes a little nuts at the end and breaks some stuff.
Yeah.
And some people think that the first F word is said in the Marvel show.
Oh.
I'm not sure about that, but if you watch the video, it does look like he does say it while he's breaking the glass.
Mark says that he's gonna find the tomb that the scarab leads to a different way, so that Khonshu won't take over Layla, and so they go off to where that.
Oh, you're talking about for episode 3?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the end of episode 2 when he gets to like Egypt. You know where?
Oh yeah, he's like in the where the Great Pyramids are.
Pyramids of Giza? Yeah. Is it Giza? Steven locked up in the mirror, and you can see Mark, I think he has his shirt off and he's drinking alcohol and he's looking out at his open window at the pyramids and the view. And that cuts into episode 3.
Moon Knight, episode 3, the friendly type.
Friendly type.
And this is the half moon, the third quarter is what they call it.
Boring name.
We open up on Layla this time. She is getting a fake passport.
From her, like, mama's, right?
I don't know if it's somebody that she knows. I don't know if it's like a family friend.
Could be.
She told her family friend that she found him with the scarab 20 minutes from their old place. He was living 20 minutes from their old place.
Yeah.
She also was talking about the antiquities, because she's an antiquities dealer, what they put on her passport.
That is true, yes.
That she didn't steal.
Nope.
There was stuff that's already stolen.
Yeah. She steals from the stolen, like giving rich to the poor.
And I thought it was neat that her dad and this lady that she knows calls her Little Scarab.
Yeah, because it's like what they were looking for.
Yeah, so I thought that was neat. So Harrow's looking for amulet.
He's got the scarab, so he's going on the way to the Egyptian god tomb.
Got the scarab. He's looking for amulet's tomb.
Yeah.
He's in the desert with his peeps.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically Mark is on the hunt for the scarab.
Yeah.
He doesn't know that Layla is making her way there. I think he knows that Harrow and them are in the desert.
Yeah. He like attacks those 3 people.
3 bad guys. I thought it was funny that he smacked the one kid.
Yeah.
Like he smacked that kid. Steven does not let Mark kill them.
Yeah, he takes over and then is like, oh no.
He needs to stop fighting near reflective services because he kept, turning back over. Something interesting that, later on in the episode where they say that it wasn't, Mark says it wasn't him.
Yeah, and they're like all dead.
Yeah, and Steven said it wasn't him, but he's taking on 3 bad guys. He kind of blacks out. He doesn't, get a chance to kill the bad guy, so he blacks out and he's in a cab.
Yeah.
Heading to the airport, from what the guy said. Runs into those guys again, fighting them near a reflective surface again.
And then
Steven says, don't, mess with them, and he gets knocked out.
Yeah.
The next time you see him, he's fighting those 3 guys again. 2 of them are dead. Yeah. Or he just finishes stabbing the second one.
And they're fighting him like a cliff edge.
Khonshu says to go over and get this kid, tell him, he'll tell you where Harrow is.
Yeah.
So he leaned him over the edge, and the kid cut his scarf and fell.
Yeah.
Long live Harrow and amulet.
Amit.
So that was the end of that. According to one of the YouTubers, on the back of the jacket was a shout out to Kang.
I didn't notice that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. It's basically from one of the comic books when Kang was in part of Egypt. You know, when he was an old pharaoh. It was a picture of him on the back of this kid's jacket.
Yeah.
Mark Spector's basically in Cairo. He's tracking those kids to try to find Harrow.
Yeah, and then they're all dead.
They're trying to figure out, he's talking to Kongshu about what to do next. Kongshu says that they'll have to do an audience with the gods.
Yeah.
And he also warns that he could get sealed in stone because I guess he's already been banished, which we find that out. So Kongshu's kind of on the way out with his group of folks.
If he messes up again, he's going to be put in stone forever.
He signals the gods with an eclipse.
Yeah, and they pull him in there, and he says, you ever do that again, you'll get put in a stone thingy.
Yeah, so that was the meeting with the Ennead, and it was only 5 out of the 9 gods that Mark was telling us about in the first episode from the poster.
I didn't know that either. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so there was only 5 out of the 9, and they were inside. Mark was excited because they were inside of the big tomb there in Egypt.
Yeah.
I thought...
not the tomb, but the pyramid.
The pyramid, yeah. I thought it was, good because Kongshu was saying to summon the suit because they were in this thing with the gods when they were, talking to the gods and their avatars were talking for the gods. And they were talking to Kongshu, and Kongshu was telling them about Harrow. And it seems like Harrow just knows about everything going on. And Harrow comes in there and tells his deed.
Yeah, and he's like, this dude's broken.
Yeah, this dude's broken. It's 2 or 3 guys. He's talking to himself, all this kind of stuff. So he kind of turns the table on Moon Knight and Mark.
He states that Khonshu is taking advantage of them.
Khonshu's taking advantage of them, and he also says, "I'm just in the desert. Why can't a guy just roam around in the desert like he's not doing anything, looking for Amit's tomb?"
Yeah,
we said this scarab is leading them to the tomb. Khonshu basically becomes unhinged, and actually Harrow says that he is unhinged, and he also says his avatar is unwell. Talks about how many personalities he has, basically saying that he takes advantage of him. They basically take advantage of one another in the relationship.
Yeah.
Kongshu says to summon the suit because he basically wants to, well, that's not until later on, but he was upset. He was about ready to punch Harrow, but they wouldn't let anything go on in that chamber.
Any violence go on in the Great Pyramid.
Yeah, so they didn't let that happen. So then later on they have to, they have to find a different way.
Yeah.
Because that didn't work. And now Kongshu's kind of on his last leg.
He's on his last warning.
Yeah, if he does one more thing with the night sky or the sky because, he did this eclipse, then they're going to banish him. They're going to turn him into stone.
And Layla shows up and there's bro, I got a friend. And then they go on a party boat and they're all reminiscent about how it was their wedding, and Layla's not having any of it. She's like, nah, I don't want to talk about that, my mans. Yeah, one of the other gods, Hathor, I think is the name of the other god that is close to Kongshu, said there's another way, and that was Senefu sarcophagus. Yeah.
And they had to go, they didn't know where they were going, but he hooked up with Layla. She was in Cairo, and they were going to Mogart. Anton is the guy's name.
Antoine.
Yeah, he's played by a character that had passed away. That this episode is actually dedicated to him.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's sad.
Yeah, he died skiing, I think. Ski accident. He had after starring in this episode. And then Beck was the other guy, and Beck said something to Layla about Madripoor.
Yeah.
Which was in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and also, X-Men, where Wolverine comes from. So they're looking at the tomb. They really need Steven for this.
Yeah, because it's this whole special thing about not hieroglyphics, but it's a special map kind of thing. There's a mirror at the roof, and Mark looks up and he's like, "Yo, what's up, my mans?" And then Steven's like, "Bro, I know how to translate that. You just gotta let me take over."
And he wouldn't let him take over because he was basically this kind of same skeptic like Steven was.
Yeah, he's like, "No, you're going to kill people."
And I thought it was funny because Layla was like, "Oh, he's in there praying," because he looked like he was talking to himself.
Yeah, because he kept looking up and just saying a bunch of crazy things. So Mark and Steven are just fighting out in the mirror, and he starts to help him solve it. And then they try to stop him, and they start this whole brawl.
Yeah, this whole brawl. And that's when Kongshu was saying, "Summon the suit." Kongshu actually said it this time.
Which is the name of the last episode, if you didn't pay attention to what I said.
And so they're fighting, and you get to see some really cool Moon Knight action here with, his crescent cape and him covering up Layla with the cape for bullets, and get to really see him use his moonarangs or whatever they're called. But of course, these guys I didn't write down the name of it, but they're trained in some old Egyptian arts. And so they're basically getting him, with these poles, and they almost have him pinned down totally, like his legs, I think his arm.
Well, he was stabbed with the javelin type weapon, spears.
Yeah.
And so he had like multiple puncture wounds throughout him, and he was still kicking. He was like fighting.
Yeah, and then Steven came along and said that, again, don't hurt him. And then he turns in the middle of Moon Knight, he turns into Mr. Knight.
Turns into Mr. Knight.
Impaled again, and then he turns back to Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And then Layla goes, bad on, what's the kid's name? Beck. She has some moon necklace on, and she kind of stabs him, which somebody had said that it was kind of maybe like a precursor to her becoming Moon Knight. Maybe the Avatar, maybe her, getting, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she's getting all rambunctious, kind of how.
Trigger happy?
Yeah, kind of like how Mark gets.
Yeah.
So Harrow comes because Harrow had people watching them.
Yeah.
They had gotten some of the stuff they needed, but then Harrow blasts the tomb and messes the rest of it up, but not before Layla was able to get some more of the paperwork that they need.
Yeah, they got the thing from the puzzle that they were that Mark and Steven were solving while they were praying.
But they were trying to figure it out while they were there. It wouldn't unlock Steven. Basically got some transportation, got the heck out of there. It was implied that Beck, if not dead, is heavily injured. Yeah. And then Anton, we're not sure of. He kind of got mooneranged off kind of in the smoke. But I'm not sure with him being done like that if he's going to come back, especially considering he died. But he does play a character in the comics, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's one of like Moon Knight's friends.
Yeah.
I think it's Black Knight or something like that. Midnight, something like that. I'm not sure exactly what his name was.
Yeah, and then what happens is Layla and Mark, they drive out into the desert.
Yeah, looking at this thing. Still need Steven.
Like the different puzzles, and Steven comes out and it's like, dude, you need me to take over. And Layla's just like, are you gonna do it? And Mark is like, give me a second. He takes the mirror from the car that they stole, the little pieces of the puzzle, and he walks over into the sand, and you see him like put his head up every time that they switch altars. They do that, like dissociating, and then they look back down. It starts working, and Layla walks over and she like asks a question, and Steven responds in his like high-pitched English accent, and he's like, bro, it's stars and it's like constellations.
Yeah, and I liked what Khonshu says here. He says, I summoned the gods, you summoned the worm.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool. He made a star to find a star.
He made constellations
to find it. They were going to look, she was looking for, Layla was looking for with her iPad, searching the sky, and
she like tried to scan it to find the coordinates of where that is. He was like, Steven was like, you can't really do that because stars very slowly move over time.
Yeah. So Khonshu says, I remember that night. I remember every night. So here we go. He had foreseen it. He had said in the very middle of the episode that he was going to get, basically, if one more thing happened, that he was going to get sealed in stone.
Khonshu tells Steven to tell Mark to save him.
Yeah. And then the Mr. Knight is there.
Yeah. He
turns into Mr. Knight.
Khonshu's like, Steven, do everything that I do. And they start like moving back the stars.
Yeah, moving the
entire sky.
The planet back, and you can see all this light moving, and basically the light that you see moving is the moon.
Yeah.
And they go back to that particular night, and she's flashing around with the iPad, and she finds, I thought that was cool that she goes to Orion first, because if you look at the supposedly pyramids are Orion's belt.
Yeah.
They're supposed to line up with Orion's belt. So she started with Orion and then found the constellation. Then, he's trying to hold it. The gods are turning him, avatars are turning him into stone.
Yeah, and he's like losing power as it's happening. You see Steven's suit like coming undone.
Steven can't hold it, so she finally gets it. They find the coordinates.
But not before Khonshu is put fully into stone.
Yeah, Khonshu's in the stone. So then you see Harrow go back. He knows this.
Go back into the pyramid where the stone is.
Yeah. And he talks to the lead guy, I can't think of what his name was, about it. And he's like, can he hear us? And so he has the guy to leave. So then he is basically saying, you know, Khonshu, you're the reason why I got this far. You told me to fight to get this far. And I'm this far for Amulet getting ready to open up the tomb because of you.
Yeah.
You see Khonshu there turned into stone, and Steven won't be able to call Mr. Knight. Mark won't be able to call Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And Khonshu is not around as far as we know is in stone, so we don't know what's going to happen as far as trying to get him back into the game, so to speak.
That's where the episode ends for now.
That it's the third quarter moon, half moon. So they're showing London in the credits. They're showing Egypt.
Yeah.
And Egyptian stuff, which I thought was cool. Yeah, so that's 3.
That's all 3. We're gonna come back next time with the other 3 episodes.
Yeah, the next 3, and that'll take us to the end of the series. It's a limited series, so it's episode 4, 5, and 6. That'll be the end. Coming up, you know, as far as Marvel is concerned, their next show on Disney Plus is Ms. Marvel. Yeah. On June the 8th, they just released a poster for that, and they've already released a trailer for it. Looks kind of campy. Looks like it's going to be not as hardcore as Moon Knight. Something maybe for the younger kids.
They changed her powers from the comics.
She-Hulk is to be determined. They don't have a date on that one yet. They might have even pushed that one back on the She-Hulk series. That's to be determined.
There's speculation that the reason that they changed Miss Marvel's powers is that they might do Mr. Fantastic soon. And they don't want to have 2 people with the same powers so close
Makes
together.
Sense. Well, yeah, I mean, Fantastic Four is in the slate.
Yeah.
They've already announced that. It looks like it'll be pretty cool. You know, Marvel always does something different and makes you intrigued to watch it. Like, you know, with Moon Knight, all these reflective elements. It's all this deep storytelling. Mark Spector's a little bit different character than we've seen. He's got the disorder there. You know, they're dealing with the mental health. They're dealing with him being, you know, a couple different characters. Overall, I mean, it's been a good group of episodes, and we'll see what 4, 5, and 6 brings us. They bring us any more, you know, they're dropping subtle clues, but not too much within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Normally they tie a lot of stuff together when this one's not tying a lot of stuff together, but still some cool stuff to see. And Ms. Marvel will bring some more of that on June the 8th.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about gaming now.
We're gaming together on the Hero Chat Show.
Zane, you waited forever for this game to come out. We were talking about this game like 2 years ago or something like that. I don't know. It's so long ago that we were talking about this game.
The first trailer, for those of you who don't know, this is Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which was announced in 2019, all the way back in 2019. I think it was before the pandemic. COVID struck and it impeded progress very dramatically. The first said release date was going to be sometime in 2020, and it didn't come out in 2020. They had to push it back because of COVID, of course. Always the bane of everything. The next release date was springtime in 2021, and then it got pushed back again because of COVID. The third time there was a release date, it was an actual day, April 5th, 2022. 2 years after the initial release year. A long wait for those who have been waiting for it like I have.
Some pretty cool stuff on this game. Got the whole trilogy to play around in Legoland, right?
Trilogy? Yeah, you're going to go with trilogy?
The whole 3 trilogies.
There's 3 trilogies.
Oh, man. See, that's even more stuff.
All 9.
And then you got the add-on bonus levels from what I heard that you can get with Mandalorian and Bad Batch and something else.
Those are character packs right now. I don't know if they're going to do any bonus levels yet.
But just the character packs. But still, I mean, that's a lot of stuff.
It's actually the biggest Lego game so far. It's released on a new engine, so they can make it look a lot better. You'll see like sand tracking on your feet. They added a whole bunch of stuff. It's actually the biggest Lego game so far with over 300 characters in it.
They hyping it up by showing all the Obi-Wans, all the Anakins, all the Lukes. They were showing how many Lukes there were and different things you could play. And I think there's like a boy Anakin and a evil eye Anakin, and
there's Anakin Skywalker, yellow eyes. He's a Sith.
Kylo Ren without the shirt on.
Kylo Ren shirtless, yeah.
Yeah, some cool things. You have Yaddle. I heard a lot of people are excited for Yaddle, and Yaddle actually talks, and she doesn't talk like Yoda.
She talks in a normal voice, just like everyone else. You have Jocasta Nu. You'll have Plo Koon.
So you've played it, and you started with, you did the old, because you grew up in a different era. I grew up in, basically New Hope era.
Well,
You grew up in the newer trilogy, so you started with number 1. I would have started with 4.
that's not really the reason I did it. I'm a fan of chronological ordering.
Got you.
I like going in order. It's how I start. Like when I would watch the movies when I was younger, I would start with The Phantom Menace, and then I would end with Return of the Jedi.
At that point, yeah. And then we got 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Which I don't watch as much. I don't do those as much. I don't
typically like those as much as I like the other ones. So I started with the first one, and I played this game every single day I'm still playing it every single day since it came out. It's been like 15 days, over 2 weeks since it came out. I've been playing it, and I'm not even done with it yet. I'm at 70 something percent. I've completed the story mode. I have written down a couple references, maybe not references, but maybe nods or just cool details that they added. That's mostly what I want to talk about, because I don't want to go into intimate details of the video game that I would like mostly for you to play for yourself. The first one is, while playing through the prequel trilogy, play as Qui-Gon Jinn, and he actually makes a reference to Liam Neeson, the actor for Qui-Gon Jinn in the prequels. He says, "I have a particular set of skills," which is what was said in Taken.
Oh, that's cool.
And he'll say that if he like senses that he can use his powers somewhere, they'll say certain dialogue, whether they can use what's around them or if they can't. Like Boba Fett, if he can't do something, he'll say, "Not even if you paid me."
Oh, that's cool.
He'll say that sometimes. They all have different dialogue. It's a big game. And if you play the story, you'll find that multiple times during the story, Emperor Palpatine or Senator Palpatine, whatever you would like to call him, he actually uses little lightning pieces that you can see in one of the trailers. And it's a reference to the actual Lego figure that you can get in some Lego sets, because you can't actually have lightning coming out of a small Lego figure. So he'll reference that. He does it a couple times, like when he's fighting Luke at the very end of the original trilogy.
Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, he'll do it when fighting Mace Windu. He does it so many different times. And when you're going to confront him as Mace Windu in his office, you can see that he has like a little pile of things like the Death Star plans and his little hood and actually the lightning piece and his little lightsaber on the table. It's really funny to just see him sitting right next to all that stuff. And this game actually says a lot of the memes in the Star Wars community, like "Hello there" and "I am the Senate" and all things like that. They're pretty good at referencing it.
Any pictures of Obi-Wan as Jesus?
Not that I saw.
That's a good meme that they have out there.
I keep looking.
People were getting kind of real angry, I guess, online, where people were eating ice cream cones on Coruscant, and they were just killing people for eating ice cream cones. They were going around killing everybody for enjoying a nice ice cream snack.
I mean, they should have done something with like the assault on the Jedi Temple.
I think that it was Star Wars Meg. She was going around as Ayla Secure and killing all the people having a nice tasty treat. And then I also saw a video where you can, as a Jedi, you can hit a small character and kind of float in the air as you're hitting them. And so a lot of people were using the boy Anakin. I saw, Qui-Gon basically pummeling the crap out of boy Anakin so he could move across Coruscant on different holes and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's something that people are doing. You don't have to. You have to use a small character. You don't have to use boy Anakin, but a lot of people are for whatever reason.
Another reference that there is in the sequel trilogy, FN2187, or Finn. He used to work in sanitation on Starkiller Base.
Yeah.
And in that level, you can actually go into a special room where he sees his old
workplace,
like the old sanitation stuff.
Oh yeah, old sanitation area.
And then there's like the buffer, like the thing they use to buff the floors, and he calls it like Buffy or something like that.
Oh man, that's pretty funny.
You can write it across the room. He's like so happy. He's like, "Oh, I never thought I would see you again."
That's pretty cool. How far along are you on the game? You're episode 9 already?
I'm finished with the story.
Finished with the story, so you've done all 9 episodes.
Yeah, I just need to go back through the episodes and 100% complete those, and I just need to finish every single planet and 100% complete those. And I've gotten pretty far, but it's a large game.
Well, hopefully when they do release these packs, they will release the other characters, like maybe some Mandalorian scenes and what have you that you could play. That would be really cool.
That would be. I'm still hoping for it, but
They might. I mean, they probably are thinking about it. Or they probably already have somebody thinking about it. But if not, at least you get to play with all the characters, and that's what the coolest part is.
I like the game. And if you want to unlock Yaddle on Coruscant, you have to go do a special mission, and usually a character mission will take you to every other planet because no one can just be satisfied with what you can find on that planet. They always want you to go like Dagobah to find them like a special type of ice cream, or go to Andor so you can find a plant. It's like, can you just be satisfied with what you can find here? On Coruscant, you can find Yaddle, and she wants you to prove yourself as a Jedi.
Oh, that's cool.
And so what she tells you to do is go to Tatooine to fight a crate dragon.
Okay.
So you go to Tatooine, and you see like the bones of a crate dragon. You ask around, and you're like, yo, where can I find a crate dragon? And they're just like, yeah, right over there. You know, but careful, the crate dragon hates dancing.
Oh, well, never knew that. It's not something I learned from the old trilogy.
It's new lore, let me tell you.
Yeah.
So in this game, there's some new force powers, so you can influence another character and take them over there, and you can distract. There's a distract button, and you click that, and the character starts to dance. And when you do that, you're doing it in this situation as a Tusken Raider. The crate dragon comes out, and you have a cool little boss fight with it. All said is done. After you kill it, she runs up Yaddle, and she's like, wow, you really did it. That was good.
Oh, and you get Yaddle.
And you get Yaddle.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was super interesting. Because you just recently in media you saw the crate dragon in The Mandalorian, right? And then you get to fight it yourself. One thing that people were upset about is that you can't redo missions, so you can't fight the crate dragon again.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it better.
Yeah. Try to do it
than the last time you did.
Keeping it on Tatooine, though, you can actually go to a certain part of Tatooine, and if you look out into the background, the skybox, basically, you can see pod race going on, little pod racers, and you can see a race going on, people watching from up here, and so you can just watch a pod race if you wanted to. You can't go down to the stands or anything like that. You're just watching from like a cliffside.
But from far away, you can see the pod race. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting detail. You can also find a Sarlacc pit. You could throw like a droid down there if you wanted to, or
Poor droid. It'll be down there forever.
yeah. So like it's really interesting seeing all the detail that they put into just one planet. So it's really nice to see that they added so much detail, because you can just go into any world and you'll find people like eating ice cream or just going about their day.
I'm telling you, there's some people that don't want to see people eating ice cream. They're going through and killing all of them eating ice cream. Can't have a tasty ice cream treat in the Star Wars universe.
That's their
for
problem.
some players. Yeah.
Some people just want to get their minds off all the fighting going on with the Empire and the rebellion. They just want to have a tasty treat for the day. My last little reference is something that you may not know. It's a droid that you can find in an abandoned building, and his name is Nobot. Nobot. This specific droid is a protocol droid. It has like a whole backstory and lore to it that's like, it was made up by fans and it was actually implemented into actual lore. It's this droid who is said to be owned by this woman. You can just like, when you see this droid, you can hear like recordings of her screams, and the droid is sometimes covered in blood.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Like a horror movie.
Yeah. And they some people suspect that the droid actually killed her, and so people see him as a bad omen, and they try to run him out, but he always ends up back in like the buildings or just around. Go into this building and you see him standing there, and he like runs away into a certain part. You see him in the thing and he just disappears.
Well, and also on the game for the saving part, that droid, what was the name of that droid? That was kind of cool.
The saving, H1NT.
Yeah.
He's the hint character.
Yeah, the hint character, so you get a hint. I like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because H1NT actually spells hint.
Yes.
That's all I had. Those are all I found for the little references. I thought they were all super interesting. I mean, that's all I'm willing to say. If you want to see more of it, you can go check out the game. It is called Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga.
The complete.
No, it's the Skywalker Saga. The complete saga is a different game from my childhood.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was called the complete Star Wars saga. All right. Well, so that was the game, Star Wars Legos, and we gave you the TV show, and we also gave you the movie. So we'd like you to join us, ZaneMan and Johnny Boy, when we discuss Marvel's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Marvel's Moon Knight episode 4, 5, and 6, and at the con. I think we're going to talk about our time at the Galaxy Con here in Richmond. That happened, what was that, back in March?
I don't know.
I think it was back in March. We're going to talk about that and what we found out over there. You can check out Hero Chat Show on Instagram and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check us out. Thanks for listening. We will see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Attention listener. If you can hear this, then you've tuned in to our top secret radio frequency. But not to be alarmed. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. We're talking about Marvel and DC, but they don't have it all. At Star Wars, that's easy, but you know who to call. I'm talking about ZaneMan and Johnny Boy. The powers overflow with a master plan.